Hey guys, Brian here, and today we're going to go through sales and a sales overview. So if you've clueless about sales, or you're not too sure how to actually conduct a sales call, I'm going to show you exactly how you do that. If you are good at sales but you're still having issues, there might be something like that's not going right, or you're going through a bad patch. Well, I'm going to probably show you some tips that actually might be able to help you overcome them. And even if you're advanced, we're going to come back and check out some of the fundamental stuff that you should be doing and you should be remembering. So today I'm just going to go through an overview and how to kind of prepare yourself for sales and a sales call and everything like that. So this is mostly aimed at like online education businesses, but it can really go for many different types of sales as well. So it's definitely an important video to watch. So let's get started. So this is where we're going to start here in the center. So this situation is where, say for example, if you're advertising, whether it's like paid advertising or organic advertising, this is the type of situation your prospect finds themselves in. So the blue here is your current situation. So that's your blue, I'll say current situation for blue, and your red is the kind of situation to find themselves in. In this, the red changes over time, as you see here. So in this case, the red is you're kind of like in your advertising, you're calling out your ideal prospect, their ideal situation. You know this from your messaging, which we've discussed in other videos, what their situation is. So you're kind of calling out this person, and you're kind of like talking about like where that person is likely want to go. But in the paid advertisement or organic advertisement, they're kind of joined together. Like there's not really a separation. Like they're kind of like, there's no clarity for the prospect doesn't have any clarity. Maybe their own situation, they don't have clarity nearly where they want to go to. They kind of have an idea in the back of their mind where they want to go to, and obviously they're kind of like aware of their current situation, but they're all kind of jumbled together. So that's the situation in like when you're first advertising to people. And then usually in the online education space, you bring them through like a flywheel or like a funnel of sorts. And then eventually you get them either like to sell them in the DMs, or particularly for starting out, where you probably want to do a sales call. And usually sales calls are the most powerful because you can actually get on and talk to a prospect and actually figure out this stuff together. So how we do that. So this is like almost before the sales call. Now we're on the sales call, and this is the current situation of the person, and then this is the desired situation. But you see, the desired situation is really over here. So we're kind of like, at the moment, through our diagnosis, which is by far the most important thing in a sales call, through the diagnosis, we're really finding out their current situation and like really getting that in, really figuring it out, and like listening intently to the prospect and what is actually, what their situation is now, basically, like what's affecting them, how their life is going. And we're really diving into that, and we want them to also feel like oh my God, this person is understanding me. Maybe you're the first person who's actually really deeply understanding them. And if you really understand your messaging and the market so well, you should be able to do that 90% of your calls at least. So what we're doing, we're figuring out that, and then we're trying to like, we're at the same time we're first figuring out the current situation. And once we get that, we kind of like figure out, okay, where do they want to be? Where is their desired situation? Like what is it? What's their dream? What's their goal? And what's their deep dream? Not just like, I want to make an extra like $1,000 a month or whatever. Like what is their why? Like what emotionally, is it to spend more time with their kids? Is it like some type of thing? We really want to figure that out. So at the same time, we're figuring this out, but we want to push a separation. The more separation we can get from their current situation to their desired situation, the better. So we really want to, once we kind of have an idea of these two things, we want to really kick the bruised knee here, or agitate their situation, like without being confrontational or anything like that. We want to like just basically say like, this is your situation. Do you really want to be in this situation much longer? It sounds like it's really affecting your life, but your desired situation does seem like a long way off. Do you think you're able to get there on your own? Like basically separating those two things. So when they're separated, and we have enough separation from them, and you have the messaging right, this is where we have our offer. So your offer. That's where we kind of implant our offer here. Like we present this offer as the solution for that person getting from their current situation to desired situation. And then then it'll become the obvious solution. Okay, if I want to get to this current situation, this person really understands me. If I want to get to this desired situation, this sounds like the perfect thing. This sounds like the thing I've been waiting for months or years or whatever it is. So that's, I hope you can see like how powerful this stuff is. Like, that's why you don't want to use this in the wrong. You want to make sure you're using this like ethically, really, because it's extremely powerful. And if that person is not a good fit, maybe like if they're financially like really not a good fit, like unless it can be a stretch goal. Like if a person sometimes needs to stretch themselves to actually afford something, that can be a good thing. It can inspire them to actually put the work in and do the stuff. But if they're really like in a terrible situation, ethically you shouldn't try and set a person like that. You should, because this stuff is powerful. Like, so don't use it wrongly. So that's the general like process overall. So in this video, I want to go through what you should do before the call. So these are some important things. Like if you don't get these things right, the chances of your sales call actually going well go way down. So what you want to do before the call is release, and I have that here. Release the attachment to the yes. So you want to release the attachment to the yes. You don't want to be going into the sales call thinking, oh, I need to sell this person, and I need to make this money, I need to close this, all that kind of stuff. You want to release it. You want to go into it thinking it doesn't matter. Maybe this person will buy, maybe they're not. It doesn't matter. My only thing, and this is the second point, my only thing I want to do, all the energy goes into don't know if I spelled that exactly right, but diagnosis. So you want to really diagnose the problem. You want to diagnose the current situation first, diagnose that 100% before you move on to their desired situation after. So diagnose this as best you can. Like for example, if you go into a doctor and they just, as soon as you walk in the door, they're just like, take this drug, take that drug, without actually like figuring out like what your symptoms are, what the problems, like what problems you're having in your health. You're going to be like, wait, what do you mean take this? Like, you don't even know anything about my situation. Why would I take this random drug if it isn't going to help me out? Like, why? So that's the same thing as a sales call, to be honest. Obviously, there's different stakes involved. Like, you shouldn't take random things like for your health if that's the case. But I'm getting distracted. So your energy goes into diagnosis. So you really want to just focus, and it's all about being in the moment. A sales call is like all about being present and not interrupting the client, not interrupting the prospect, sorry. Like just listening intently and just like really understanding them. So release the attachment to the yes, don't need the yes, and just all you need to focus on is diagnosing the problem, diagnosing their situation, and then their future situation, their desired situation. You want to release your ego. You don't want to be going in there like if a prospect is maybe saying kind of rude stuff to you or not being like very fair. You want to like kind of be emotionally unattached. You just want to like be as chill as possible. Like maybe at the end, if obviously if they're like abusive or whatever, you just be like, sorry, I don't think this is a good fit. I'm going to have to leave the call now or whatever. But you don't react emotionally or anything else. But the next thing kind of, it's almost the same idea, but it's slightly different. So judgment. You do not want to judge that prospect at all. Like if their current life situation is a bit messy or their business is a mess, and you're kind of like, oh, like sometimes you're like, oh, I can't, how are you getting that wrong? Or why would you be doing that? Like in your head, previously maybe you've been thinking like, why would you do something so silly or stupid or whatever? But if you actually are like that and thinking about that, especially on a sales call, and that comes across to the prospect, no matter if they're the perfect fit and they actually really need your solution, they're going to be actively fighting against their like you and being sold, because they'll realize that you're judging them, and they won't feel good they won't feel good about that. So you probably noticed that in your own life. If you've been on a sales call or another situation where you've been judged or you've been kind of like made to put down, even if it's not like in your face, if it's just kind of like silently, you might notice that you actually, even if it's a good thing for you, you're actually like, so I'm not doing this, like, because your ego is going to be getting involved then, and it's just going to blow out the sales call. So do not judge a prospect, no matter their current situation or their or anything like that, no matter their business or their life or whatever. And you have to realize that when a person comes onto a sales call, like you want to obviously, even though you should have released the attachment to yes, ultimately that's what you want. You want to get the close, you want to like make some money, you want to help the client get some good results, you want to get case studies, so on and so forth. But at the same time, in the moment, you're releasing the attachment to the yes. But the prospect is coming on to the call not to be sold usually. Like obviously sometimes they're like, they just want this, they know it already and it's an easy sales call. But a lot of prospects come on looking for options. So options in the market, and there's so many options in the market nowadays for people to purchase different things to help them get their desired results. And obviously there's a lot of like not so good products out there that people are sold all the time. But that person is on the sales call looking for options. They always are like, okay, I have this person is selling a certain thing. I'm gonna like find out like what their pricing is and what this is. I'm not gonna purchase on this call. I'm just gonna look for options. And then they might have like 5 more options or 10 or whatever the number is. So that's what you have to realize. And your kind of like duty is to kind of like make them feel like this is the option. Like this is the one that's actually gonna get them result. That's the only thing that matters. That's why that's why it's so important to understand their situation so much, because if you don't understand the situation so much, you can't present your offer with that person. That person really believes that you can actually get them the results. So realize that, and realize that it's not a game. Like you're not just like trying to like strategy, trying to like, oh, they said this, I said that, like kind of like a chess game. You're having a conversation. You're actually genuinely trying to help this prospect reach their ultimate goal. That is ultimately why you're there, and obviously you'd like to get paid to help them as well, but it's a conversation between two people really. So for this I'm going to go into what you should do before the call, just to prepare before the call. Like just really pay attention to this stuff. Like it might just sound silly, some of it, like it's not really important, but this stuff is vitally important. You want to be ready, get set up before the call, and be ready and basically be present for that call. So okay, so this is an obvious one. Like you shouldn't just come up to a call all of a sudden and just straight onto a call. Like I don't know, maybe if you're advanced, like really advanced, and you know the prospect already, maybe that. But in most cases, you need to do this. So in our our advertising or organic methods, usually you'll have some type of survey, or you'll at least know certain things that prospect that is looking for, or maybe depending on the questions you ask in the survey, you might know a little bit about their current situation, like a general overview of where they want to get to. So you're going to go over that for 5 to 10 minutes before the call, just to kind of get an idea, so you know what you're doing. You want to, obviously, this should be an obvious one, you want to be in a quiet room, no distractions, like whatever the room is. It could be like a cupboard or whatever, as long as you don't like hear distractions like dogs barking. If you have kids like running in and out of the room, it's next to impossible doing a sales call with those kind of distractions. So you want to be as quiet as possible. You want to be hands-free. So what I mean by that is you want to use headphones, or you want to use some other way where when you're talking to the prospect on the phone or on Zoom or whatever, you want to be able to move your hands around like this, like because even if it's an audio only call, which sometimes is a very good idea, I'll go into more of the reason why that is later. You want to, because if you're talking and you need to talk, you kind of sometimes express yourself better, and you come across as more confident and everything else when you're just able to move your hands, even if the person isn't on video and they're not even looking at you. So have an option that you can move your hands around, so headphones or whatever. Notes, you want to have a notepad there with you. So when you're diagnosing the current situation, obviously the desired situation, you want to be taking on little notes, all these important little details that you might have to refer back to later in the call, like different like little nuances. Because just because when you're getting the prospect's current situation, you're listening, and to tell you the obvious stuff, okay, sometimes it's hard for them to actually get out of them. So like if their current situation is they're making $5,000 a month in their business, or they're 20 pounds overweight, sometimes it actually is hard to actually get those simple information out of those clients. So later on, I'll tell you a secret of how to actually do that, a secret weapon really. But even if that person is telling you that, there might be little nuances in the details that you want to be writing down. Like they're making $5,000 a month right now, and then I can't think of an example right now, but they might tell you something that's like, oh, like, oh, the reason that they want to make this extra money is because of X. So you want to be writing that down, because you want to be remembering that, because later on in the call you will, those kind of like little bullet points will actually probably help you like really place your offer in between these two current and desired situations. So that's just notes. Have a little notepad, write those notes down. And it's probably better to do it like not like typing it onto the computer or anything like that. You just as little distractions for you as possible. That's why sometimes a video, if you're like doing Zoom and video, it can be distracting. You want to be like just so present and so listening into the person like as they speak. Like obviously nowadays it kind of is more video, so it's kind of hard to avoid it, but there is huge benefits just doing audio only as well, to be honest. And again, you want to release the attachment to the yes. It's not just releasing the attachment to the yes. You want to release all your anything that bad or any kind of like problems. Like hopefully your life doesn't have too many problems or issues in it. But if for example you had a little fight with your kid, or you had a fight with your partner, like a minor one or whatever, you want to release that. You just want to like almost like do like a couple of moments of breathing, like box breathing, like the Navy SEALs do this thing where it's box breathing. Like you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold the breathing out for 4 seconds, and repeat like maybe for like 60 seconds. Like just release all that, like, and just go into the call so present, like have no emotions, and just almost like be zen, be meditation in that call and listening to the prospect. So next I want to go into the secret weapon. So this is the secret weapon that very, very few people use correctly. Like it's a very good way basically to actually help you diagnose and ultimately how you get the sales, because you're going to find out information with this secret weapon that these people probably, like your prospects probably haven't opened up to other salespeople before, because they probably haven't effectively used a secret weapon. So that's what we're going to cover in the next video. So if you want to hear about that, tell me in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe so you see when that video comes out.